Hello there and welcome back to the HullCityFanCentral YouTube channel, where today I do have my preview and prediction ahead of Stoke City versus Hull City, where will it be Hull City getting their first win, or will it be another case for Tim Walter to get the sack? It's going to be a very, very interesting game, no matter what. A very, very tight-knit game, considering both sides are having a little bit of a rocky, turbulent coming out of this most recent international break. So let's go to injury updates. Talking about international break, we won't see one of the summer signings until the next international break, or possibly afterwards. That being Charlie Hughes. Yes, after me berating saying that Charlie Hughes needs to be in this lineup since he signed, he hasn't actually played a minute for Hull City yet. He won't be playing for another few weeks, certainly, as he has just undergone surgery to remove his appendix. This was why he wasn't part of the matchday squad whatsoever against Sheffield United, where I did think he was probably going to grab that starting role over Sean McLaughlin. But it seems like we do have Sean McLaughlin, Big Macca, in the back line for the time being, as of course Andy Smith is still injured. We don't really have any other centre-back or starting centre-back quality players to play in that position. Some other injury updates. We kind of have got a few injuries to go through. So Regan Slater is a doubt for this upcoming game, as he apparently picked up a shoulder problem after coming. I'm not sure if it was in the game or during training, but he's picked up a bit of a shoulder problem. It's going to be a day-to-day situation, but it is doubtful that he will play this game. Certainly probably won't start, but it's doubtful that he'll make the trip to Staffordshire with the squad. Some positives. Carl Rushworth has returned. He had a bruised knee. That's why he wasn't part of the squad on last Friday, so a week ago. So he probably will get that bench role. Maybe not take the starting role over Ivo Panda, but I'll come to that in a minute when I go through my predicted lineup. Stephen Altsey, the new signing, the free transfer, the former Brighton man, he could possibly be involved in the matchday squad for the first time, though Tim Walter has said that he is definitely not ready to start a game. So maybe a bench slot for him, and whether we do see him make his Hull City debut off the bench, that remains to be seen. Some positives as well in the likes of Ryan Longman and Dukan Sinek. Both of them make leaping efforts in towards their full recovery. Both of them have returned to training, as I did mention last week, though it is currently non-contact training, so maybe a few weeks, possibly the similar timeline to Charlie Hughes in their return. Andy Smith also remains sidelined, but he has not returned to training yet. So that is all that is in the injury tank. So some positives, some negatives. Certainly the big negative being Charlie Hughes, the man who we've not even seen yet, has already picked up a, well, not an injury, but he got his surgery to remove his appendix, which maybe was one of the reasons why we haven't seen him so far. So let's move on to my predicted Hull City starting 11. Once again, it's powered by our friends over at Fanhub. Fanhub, it's a fantastic free app that you need to download right now. If you're a football fan, you need to get Fanhub, because you get rewarded for being a football fan for free. You get free things for just being a fan of your team, whether it's your local team, whether it's a team other side of the country. No matter what, you get rewarded for supporting them and downloading Fanhub. Use my link in the description on my golden ticket code HUL-IZR. That'll mean that you skip the queue on entry, and you'll also get rewarded for using the code. And you'll also, if you check in at a game after using my code, you get an extra bonus reward. So why would you not do it? Fanhub is a fantastic place to go, and they're also in the pipeline of getting a Greggs, so you can also get some free Greggs goods with Fanhub. So why would you not do it? Download Fanhub now, use my link in the description, and it'll help out the channel. Thank you very much. So my Hull City predicted starting 11. So maybe a few little changes from the side that lost to Sheffield United, and we'll kind of gloss over that, as I pretty much covered all of my views and thoughts in the vlog from last Friday. I definitely recommend you go and check that out after this video. So Tim Walter, still the manager. I still have faith. It is slowly decreasing, but I still do have the faith in Tim Walter. Ivo Panda, I do think he will get the spot in net. He is one of the best championship keepers over average match ratings this season. He's been fantastic. I don't think he's put a foot wrong. The 2 goals that Sheffield United scored, we conceded. I don't think he was to blame for any of them. He maybe could have stopped them, possibly. Maybe a keeper could have stopped them, but I think the errors definitely did come further up the pitch, where, first of all, it was both defensive errors by our wingers, Balumi and Liam Miller in the second half. Miller, maybe he did get shoved off the ball, and maybe with VAR that goal would have been disallowed, but we'll gloss over that. So I don't blame Ivo Panda for either of the goals. I think that he's been fantastic, been putting crucial saves in when needed, and his passing play, his footwork, his distribution has increased so much since pre-season. Backline, Louis Coyle, he's still putting his heart on the line for every game, still being one of the best players in a City shirt. The centre-back partnership alongside of him will be Alfie Jones and Sean McLaughlin. His face has returned back to my graphic after Charlie Hughes is now not available. And then over at left back, Ryan Giles. A few people slandering on Ryan Giles. I don't think it's quite the time to sort of see him sidelined. I still think that he does provide something. He just needs to really refresh himself on the game. I think he's getting a little bit too frustrated, and I think a lot of the players are in the squad because the results aren't going their way. Once we get a win under our belt, the morale will lift and everything, and I think that Brian Giles will be benefiting highly from that. So hopefully this game does him good and also the club some good. Ahead of them, Oscar Zambrano. I do think that he will return to the starting lineup after I believe he was sidelined on the bench for the Sheffield United game. And then obviously partnered up with him is Finley Burns. Finley Burns, who Tim Volter speaks highly of. Finley Burns speaks highly of Tim Volter. And he did all right in that Sheffield United game. As all right as a man on the losing side of a 2-0 loss to a Yorkshire rival. Overall, out on the wide, do you think Abu Kamara will be out on the right-hand side for this game? I know that we saw Balumi out on the right-hand side for the Sheffield United game, and Kamara was obviously subbed off when Miller was brought on. But Kamara, he's played majority of his career over on the right wing, and I certainly think that he provides a nice contrasting wing opponent to the other man being Liam Miller. Obviously in the centre, this does mean Abdul Shamir gets that central spot, which I think is certainly suited towards him, and we haven't seen the best from Abdul Shamir this season, and that's because he hasn't been in the centre. He's been forced out on the wide where we've lost him so much. Meaning over on the other side, Liam Miller, he does get the starting spot after only being sidelined on the game due to playing on the Tuesday night following for Canada and obviously travel time and everything. Wanted to give him as much rest as possible, but also wanted to get him involved in the game. You notice no Casey Palmer. Casey Palmer, who made his 200th championship appearance last Friday in Sheffield United. I think that he certainly at the moment will be more impactful as a super sub, contributing with his age and his experience with the game. I think that really, if you want someone to be that difference maker off the bench, Casey Palmer is the man to do it. Meaning up top, it is Chris Bedia. Bedia up top. No Mason Bairstow. Bairstow will be on the bench, and I think that will be the situation. Certainly, unless Bedia has an absolute stinker for a few games. But I don't think he's been having the service to really prove himself. So hopefully this changes in this fixture. Some other news. You'll notice Harry Vaughan's face on there. And that is for a very, very good reason. Because the Academy, they managed to grab a 2-1 victory over Brentford in the Under-21s Professional Development League. Goals coming from Harry Vaughan, as I said, and also Lucas Dawson. So those are the two goals as they made their third successive win in the Under-21s Professional Development League. Of course, Harry Vaughan, who was in the senior squad start of the season and also last season and went out on loan and stuff, and the season beforehand he made his first appearance for Hull City. Really impressed with what I'm seeing from him in the academy setup, watching the highlights from the game and bits like that. Certainly proving himself quite nicely, and can't wait to see him thrive as well. Hopefully he will get a chance in the senior squad this season, but we'll wait and see on that front. For Hull City-wise, sort of the senior team, as I mentioned, Casey Palmer made his 200th championship appearance last Friday night against Sheffield United. He's also been named in the best 11 from the international window for the CONAFCA Nations League, as he had two fantastic performances for Jamaica. Hull City will be celebrating 120 years, and this seems to be figureheaded on the Cardiff City game, where the tickets are discounted, meaning adults are £15, seniors £12, 16 to 22-year-olds £10, 11 to 15-year-olds £5, and 2 to 10-year-olds £3.50. This is the fixture, obviously, our next home fixture on the 28th of September 2024 at 3 p.m. at home to Cardiff City, and I think there'll be some festivities to go around with our 120 years worth of history that they seem to be figureheading on that game. So other than that, no real news. Hull City did have a media day the other day, and they're also doing a signing session this coming Tuesday, the 24th of September, down at the Tiger Leisure at the MKM Stadium, where you can meet 7 of the new summer signings, first come, first serve basis. That's Tuesday, the 24th of September, 3:45 to 5 p.m. So, lovely stuff there. So, let's crack on with the last meetings between Stoke and Hull. Of course, last time we met them was at the MKM Stadium, where we did suffer a 2-0 loss. Very, very poor that was. Let's say how it is. But before that, a 3-1 win away at Stoke's ground, where we are going. So last time we did play them at their ground in Staffordshire, it was a 3-1 win. I believe Regan Slater got did he have a brace or something in that game? I'm not 100% sure, but he certainly thrived in that game. He certainly got a goal no matter what it was. But it was a fantastic game for him, no matter what. And then before that, 0-0 draw in the season prior at their ground, the Bet365 Stadium, which I believe it's still called, unless they've changed their sponsor. Form coming into this game, as I said, both teams are struggling a little bit on form coming out of this international break, losing their last league fixture last week. Obviously, Stoke have played most recently as well against Fleetwood in the Carabao Cup on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. I'm not 100% sure which night they played, but certainly during this midweek. So it means that they are not as fresh coming into this game, coming off the back of that Carabao Cup game. But before that, their form is looking quite nicely. A 5-0 win against Middlesbrough away from home, and also a 1-0 win against Plymouth away from home, and of course that 1-0 loss against Oxford United being the only tarnish since the international break. So table-wise, the teams are looking in similar-ish positions. Of course, I do say, do not look at the table this earlier into the season, because we are in the relegation zone. We are currently sitting down there with 3 draws, 2 losses. Still no win for Hull City since April. No win for Tim Volter in friendlies, in the Cup, in the league. But whereas Stoke have managed to grab themselves 2 wins, 3 losses, no draws yet this season for Stoke City. So do you think Hull City will grab their first win of the season? It's deluded optimism, or it's a brilliantly educated guess. A 2-1 win for Hull City, and this will be really the kickstart of the season, meaning that our next game, of course, it's the Cardiff City game, I believe. Certainly that's our next home game. So it will be lovely to get going, because Cardiff City are currently sitting dead bottom of the championship table. Only Portsmouth sit below us, and that's based on goal difference alone, both of us having a similar record coming into it. So Cardiff City certainly going to be a nice one to pick up points on in the next game after this Stoke City one. So if this can kick us on, and then we pick up 3 points against Cardiff City, who knows where we will be before the next international break, obviously that being a few weeks' time. So hopefully Hull City can grab a 2-1 win. Goals for the Tigers coming through Chris Bedier, and I think he'll grab his first in Tigers shirt, and hopefully with a bit of service he can provide that, hopefully a few more. And then Abu Kamara, of course, grabbing his first in a Hull City shirt as well. Hopefully he has a real a bounce on from the positive attributes that we saw against Sheffield United, and get rid of the negative ones where he was trying to do stuff that Anthony does for Manchester United, where he was doing unnecessary skill moves against 2 Sheffield United defenders and was losing the ball 10 times over. So I'll leave you with that photo of Adrian Jolly as I ask you to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I will be live tomorrow at 8 o'clock kickoff, and I'll be live here on the channel with our live watch along, because it's a fun place. Come and join us as we hopefully see Hull City grab the win. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you keep up to date on that. I'll also have my match reaction out after the game, and also go and follow me over on Twitter or X to keep up to date on everything Hull City. And I will catch you in the next video or the next live stream if you are joining us tomorrow. So up the Tigers.